What's going on, guys? Buenos dias. Buenos dias. So, I just listened yesterday. I listened to Milo and Jordan Peterson interview. So basically, Jordan Peterson interviewed Milo Yiannopoulos. It was really good. It was really interesting. He basically, it was an interview, but because Jordan Peterson is a psychologist, he was kind of like psychoanalyzing Milo in the process of the interview. But Milo was open to it, and they had a lot of good conversation and revelations. So if you Google like Jordan Peterson, Milo Yiannopoulos, or you should be able to find it. I don't know if I have time to put the link in the description before I get home tonight. So anyway, you guys should check that out. Also, what else was I gonna say? Project Veritas is on fire. They just had another person come out from big tech that works for Pintrest, and they basically exposed Pintrest for shadow banning Christians and pro-lifers. So the Google Project Veritas, if you don't know who they are, James O'Keefe, he's really has made a name for himself by using he's like an OG journalist, right? Like what journalists should be doing, right? Well, he's doing investigative reports, and he has sources that work for big tech and other companies, and even during the midterms, he had some people sneak into, or that actually work for certain political leaders to come out with info. Yeah, man, he's way underrated. He's way underrated. I really like what he's doing. He's doing a really good job. So go and support him and check them out. So you guys, I don't know, man. I'm slowly watching my subscriber base decline, and I know that people aren't unsubscribing to me willfully because my ear's itching. Does that mean I'm lying? I don't know. It's just itching because it's a mirror. Anyway, yeah, my subscriber base is dwindling. So probably by the end of next week, I'll be down to like 19,000 subscribers. So it's just really frustrating. I know I'm being shadow banned, and I know usually by now the people that have subscribed to me, they know what this channel is about. So I post a video, and then I look at my dislike ratio, and I maybe get 1 or 2 dislikes. So I'm guessing, if I'm putting up anything that's offending people, I usually have a pretty high dislike ratio. And then, people will write me comments like going off of me, cursing me out, whatever, telling me how they don't like what I'm doing. So I'm watching, I've been staying, since I hit 20,000 subscribers a few months ago, I've been staying at about, 2,200 here and there. Now it's 80 something, and it just keeps going back day and day. So, and then I don't know if I told you guys, one day I woke up, I didn't do a video for like a week, and I woke up and there were just 100 people had just dropped off. I was like, come on, YouTube, I know you're doing this. So I'm frustrated because I usually don't support businesses that, don't want me, because I don't want them. But like I said, I'm still holding out and just waiting until this channel gets erased, because they're doing little mind games like this to just to frustrate people. My videos are demonetized. I'm not making any money. And the people that I think it finally showed up when I did a couple live streams. I had a couple donations, and those weren't showing up for a minute either. So I'm just like, they're doing these little mind games to mess with people so they get frustrated and move, and it would be less work for them. But I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna stay till you guys pull me, and I'm still putting my foot in other channels. So please follow me on Chute, or follow us, I should say. Like I said, this channel was made or founded by me and my best friend. She's more behind the scenes. She does a lot of research. She does a lot of posting on Facebook. I do more YouTube. And that's why I haven't really been that active on Twitter. Because I want to be done with them too. I just feel like I don't want to put a lot of investment into these companies when they're not investing in me, and they're being tyrannical and fucking assholes. So I don't know. I'm on Gab. I'm on we're on Minds, but it's and what's the other one? Steemit. But right now, because it's just so easy, if you guys have started a channel, you should, I'm telling you, get on BitChute. They have a feature where you upload to YouTube and it automatically uploads to BitChute. So right now, with the amount of work that I'm doing, because I can't make a living off of YouTube, the amount of work that I'm doing, to make ends meet, I don't have time to be prevalent in all of the forms of social media. So right now, I'm just concentrating on BitChute, and then I'm thinking, they'll probably erase this channel within a few weeks. They'll strike me for some stupid shit, and then I'll just be done. I had a backup channel, but I'm not going to even invest in that one anymore, because they are just going to take that one down too. And I'm just like, I'm not going to capitulate to these assholes. I'm not going to beg them to keep me. I'm just going to use them for what I can. Now I'll still use them for music, because I'm still getting something out of it, right? It's still a good platform, and it reaches millions of people. But if they're not shadow banning my music channel, especially when I start to do more music, I'll still use them for that. And if I can make money off of that, then I can use that to fund the truther shit, and just be truther, talk on other alternative platforms that are accepting. So that's my plan, y'all. I don't know, so what else was I gonna say? Yeah, man, these tech companies are just speaking of which, I brought the Project Veritas thing. These tech companies are they're taking it too far. I think though, with Project Veritas, they had somebody, I think, from Facebook come out. It seems somebody else from YouTube, I want to say YouTube too, Pintrest. They're finding evidence that they're purposely banning people with certain ideologies. And there are people like Vince from the Red Elephants. He's a father, I think, of 3. I think he has 3 kids, and he says that he uses what he does on YouTube to support his family. So I really feel for somebody like him. I'm single, I'm not, I don't have a family, so I'm not, I would like to make money, but I'd be tripping out even more if I had a family to feed. So for people like him, they're fucking with his money, they're messing with his livelihood. But in a sense, this might be a good thing, because they can prove that they're messing with people's livelihood. Maybe it is cause for them to be broken up, or be fined, or be forced to not do what they're doing. I don't really know how the law works, but of course they're doing this because of the 2020 election coming. They're cracking down even more. I mean, they wanted to do it before, but now they realize that social media, this machine that they created to enslave us, we have found a way to turn it against them, and they're mad, and they're haters, and they're they're butthurt, and they're playing dirty. They're not playing fair, because if they were fair, right, they can win on their own ideals and their own ideology, and just let people choose. But the fact that is that they're pushing one form of ideology and banning other people who have different ideologies or thoughts on things says a lot. And I just don't think that, I don't think that, and ultimately they're going to win. We're still we're at the climax. I'm telling you guys, we're at the precipice. We have the chance to either be freer than we have ever been, or we're going to be enslaved, like nothing else, because they're rolling out this 5G technology. David Icke, if you guys don't know who he is, if you guys are newbies, if you're just waking up, if you guys are just like, just woken up, you need to look at David Icke. Now, he has a really good video talking about how they're slowly implementing the technology, and it's pushing us to merge with AI, this whole transhumanist agenda. Because if you go further enough down the rabbit hole, the 2 things that are at the end of the rabbit hole are transhumanism and Satanism. So that's what they're doing, right? He's talking about, like, they have first, get us addicted to, they have a plan. So first it's like, get us addicted to phones, right? You see how many people are addicted to their phones. Then get us into wearables, right? So we have the Google glasses, and then we have the watches and stuff. Then now it's gonna be like microchipping, right? Where I'm not even into the watch and shit. Like, I stopped at the glasses and the watch, and I have my phone because I use it to work, I use it for other things, but I'm still not on social media all the time, and I'm trying to cut my time down just with that, because I can see how consuming it could be. Like, there's a lot of reading I want to do. I'm so behind, just trying to keep up with social media. So Yeah, but it's consuming, right? It's consuming us in a very unhealthy way. Now, I'm very blessed, you know, also with YouTube. I'm reaching out to other people. I've connected with so many amazing people all over the world that I never would have encountered had it not been for the internet. So, you know, there's always a good side to technology. God, my ear. There's always a good side to technology. But you know, that's the thing, right? They get us, it's like, you know, I've heard the Illuminati, they can't really do anything without our consent. So they get us to consent to things, right? They get us to consent to letting us, you know, get all our information. We just willfully pull it up because we want something out of it too, right? They say, oh, they're doing it for advertising, but they're not really doing it for advertising. They're building a database. They're building a control grid, right? And everything that's electronic ties together. They're talking about self-driving cars now that they want to implement. And who's going to control those cars, right? People that are like, oh, it's really cool. Like, I don't have to think about where. No, dumbass. They're going to fucking tell you where to go and how to go and when to go. And if you say or do the wrong thing, they're going to cut your car off and you're going to be fucking stranded, right? You look at all of these cameras that they're installing, right? These red light cameras that are at every intersection and stuff, but it's a fucking security control grid, right? The 5G technology, right? Your phones are listening, you know, a la, what is that, Volt 7, right? All your phones and your electronic devices are listening to you, just like in 1984. It's all being stored in a giant database, right? The cars have computer chips. They can, you know, they can control your car and crash it or stop it or whatever, you know, a la OnStar technology, a la Michael Hastings, okay? So look at how, you know, this system of control is very scary. I just saw this movie called Transcendence. It's on Netflix, and basically it's about this guy that dies. It might be a spoiler alert, so I'm just telling you. Johnny Depp's in it. And they upload his consciousness onto a computer. And then he, like, is able to hack into shit. And then they talk about the nanotechnology, right? But, you know, I think ultimately it had a good message because it did, you know, allude to the fact that there's, you know, too much power is in a concentrated place is not a good thing. Whether it's a government, whether it's religion, whether it's whatever, it's not a good thing, because ultimately absolute power corrupts absolutely. Okay, so it's not, you know, fun and games. And what they make it, you know, how they get us to accept all this crazy shit is that, you know, they start putting in movies, right? They're like, oh, Star Trek, oh, Star Wars, oh, like, you know, AI, robots and stuff. And that's cool, don't get me wrong. But, you know, there are people that are just, they're so naive and so stubborn that they're ultimately joining forces with evil without even knowing it, right? And my friend Max Egan was talking about scrying mirrors and how, you know, they used to use scrying mirrors back in the day, if you believe in magic and all that stuff, to, you know, in different dimensions, to conjure up demons, right? There are these black mirrors. And, you know, there is a theory, or there's been, you know, rumors or just, you know, people thought that, you know, our smartphones and all of our computer screens, which are black, by the way, right, before you turn them on, are a form of scrying mirrors, basically, that is conjuring something inhuman and not pro-human and not for humanity into our reality, right? So, you know, we're letting this AI in. It's kind of like the vampire that we, you know, that needs to be, the vampire can't come into your house unless you invite his ass in, right? So we've definitely invited this vampire in. So the question is, are we going to allow him to stay? Are we going to take some control of his ass? Are we going to throw some garlic in his face? Are we going to stake his ass? Like, what are we going to do, right? The vampire gives you good things, like, you know, or it can give you good things, right? There's a certain eroticism and a certain romanticism in vampire movies and vampire lore, is that they can give you eternal life, right? If you're bitten by one, immortality, right? Which is what this AI shit's promising us. But at the end of the day, it's only going to be a few people, right? And they're not going to need all of us, right? They're slowly taking away our jobs, certain menial jobs. Even at the store, you go to the store now, they need less check cashiers. They have the little, self-check lines. Then, a lot of factory jobs are going away because now they're using robots to do that. What are they going to need people for, right? And just wrapping up, my friend and I, if you've ever checked into what's the name of that? The Venus Project and Jacques Fresco's work, he has great designs and great ideas, but who controls the robots, right? Who watches the Watchmen, right? You've heard that? Who watches the Watchmen? So just think about all this power that these tech companies have and where it's leading, and it starts with the censorship. It starts with stuff because they don't want people like me having channels because I'm saying what's up. They don't want people, and a lot of these conservatives that are, getting people to leave the Democratic Party, which is good, but, Republicans aren't necessarily better either. They're human. So what people really need to do is just start thinking, right? It's exposed. This whole election to me hasn't been just about Donald Trump. It's been a revelation. It's the start of a revolution that's exposing a lot of stuff and exposing a lot of lies and exposing a lot of the things that we've been lied to. And a lot of these conservatives, they won't talk about anything past politics, right? They won't talk about DARPA or Google or false flags or vaccines or any of that shit. So, I think, there are people that are kind of woke to a certain level. There's woke, and then there's like woke. Like I haven't seen her channel around, but I adore her. What's her name? Political Avenger, right? Like she's like woke, because she will go deep, okay? So will, what's her name? To the Truth Factory and Really Graceful and Black Pilled and Black Pigeon Speaks and Odd Reality. I mean, I know there are people that I'm missing, but then there are those people too. And those people, I think they're probably being shadow banned even more than regular conservatives, because they're like hit below the surface, right? Because even a lot of the popular conservative zones that are kind of out there, they're controlled. They're not going to talk about Zionism. They're not going to talk about vaccines or false flags and stuff. They'll they won't be critical of Trump in a very justified way. They're just going to talk about politics and kind of get people to red pill, but then it's kind of like controlled opposition, because they're only getting people, they're kind of getting the people that are waking up, but they're still containing them and keeping them in a certain state of consciousness and not allowing their consciousness to expand and see what the real issues are, right? So anyway, okay, I think I'm going too long, but please check out, if you guys are not checking it out, it's probably going to go, I think it's going to be at least 15 to 20 parts. I know it's long, but every night at 7 I am airing a debate that I had a few months ago, and the jerk didn't let me put my links in, so I basically reposted it, and I cut in video, I cut in links, I cut in news articles, so I try to make it a little bit more interesting, but I cut it up into parts, and maybe about 15-20 minute parts, so it's more digestible. And I also put links in the bottom so you can further do some exploring. So if you want to know about vaccines, and some of the common arguments that pro-vaxxers have, I will be airing that every day at 7. And it's called How to Debunk a Pro-Vax Zealot. So those of you guys who are kind of on the fence, you want to learn more, this is a great way. Like I said, I put it's so long too because I cut it with video clips. The original debate was like 3.5 hours long, but I cut in some stuff. I cut in like some doctors speaking and talking about this, some scientists speaking and talk. So, it is, there's some anecdotal stuff, but it is mostly science-based, and I put in articles, I put in, other stuff so you guys can have a reference. So anyway, oh shit, this is going really long. All right, guys, that's it. Talk to you later. Peace, love, bye-bye. Mwah.